Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hello, everybody. This is Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole. This is Joanne Kandrak with my sidekick here, Kelly Cole. We are on episode 55 today, and a very exciting topic, the best white paint colors. So there was a time when all we sourced basically were bold colors for walls. Then we would use various shades of white, for trim and ceilings. But this has truly changed. Although sometimes we'll specify an accent color, and if our clients will let us do wallpaper on the ceilings. But definitely the trend for white walls has been strong. And for being color girls, we have really pretty much embraced this, haven't we?
Yeah, I've been really proud of us. I mean, I used to, oh my gosh, in my last house, my office was pink with black trim. My daughter's rooms were like crazy colors, each one of them. And then my kitchen was black.
Yeah.
And my dining room was teal.
Yeah, everybody had a red dining room for a while.
What
was that
15
color?
years ago.
Tomato?
No, it was like Duran's red chili something.
Chili peppers or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now those days are over now.
Long gone.
Yeah. So actually in my Woodstock house, the entire house is painted our favorite repose gray. Mm-hmm. Really like the entire house. I have the only accent I have is in the coffered ceilings of my dining room is black. And I really love it and I haven't gotten tired of it. I can't believe it. And then in the lake house, what did I do? I did City Loft on the trim, which was like a light taupey gray white.
That's a Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah. And then I did, I think, pure white on the walls. The whole house. So unlike me. So why white walls? So I think first and foremost for us is it's a great canvas or a backdrop for art. Because, and this is why, when you go into art galleries, you'll see all
They're
the
always
white walls.
white. Yeah.
It just, and I guess as time has progressed, we use so much more original art in all of our projects, and it really doesn't interfere with that beauty and that investment. So, but it highlights the architecture of the home, and really, some people's homes have architecture that maybe isn't so redeeming.
But even if you don't, it's still
awesome.
It's still a good choice for a great backdrop, even if you don't have the architecture. But if you do, it really enhances it.
I agree. Yep. Makes the space look bigger, for sure. In the lake house, we have our basement level. I think the ceilings are, I'm talking 7.5 at the very most, maybe just over 7 feet. And so we lit it up with LED can lights everywhere and painted the whole thing bright white, trim, ceiling, everything. And it's awesome. It really worked. It did the trick.
It's also one of the cheapest ways to make over a room.
Yes.
And then surely helps for resale. If you really look, when you go onto Instagram or you're looking at Pinterest, the rooms that are all white photograph so beautifully.
They really do.
And this is why, like even in the vacation rentals that we were talking about, get rid of these dark colors, get rid of these colors per se. But although when you're using white, you have to have some pretty objects or color to incorporate it in. It can't just be white.
I was just about to say that because you have to do it right.
You have to do it right.
So last weekend, my family and we were in Santa Fe, New Mexico for a wedding. And I didn't tell you this, but the Airbnb we stayed at was Adobe style, like everything in Santa Fe. The entire house, the interior walls were white, but they were Venetian plaster. And Venetian plaster is kind of I don't even want to say a faux finish because Venetian plaster is so much prettier than that, but it is a very layered finish on the walls that has a beautiful shine to it. And even though it's all white, it has a little bit of movement and texture. And the way she did the track lighting and the lighting throughout the house, it bounced off those walls the entire time. It was so gorgeous.
We're going to get to that because the sheens of white paint really make a difference too. And it's amazing to me many times when we're doing color consultations that, we have to tell them, you want this for your walls, you want this for your trim and ceiling, because people don't really know.
They don't know.
So for walls, we, as a general rule, will specify eggshell, or there is a washable flat that clients of ours have used that said is really great, and it's Sherwin-Williams. It's called Emerald Interior Acrylic Latex.
And Benjamin Moore, of course, has a great one too. But that, that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, so you get a scuff mark. You can generally with a flat paint, it's almost like they're very chalky.
And I will say, as a side note, I think when people get interior paint quotes, lots of times they get maybe 2 or 3 quotes. And that is one way that painters can really lower their quote. They either say, well, this is just for labor and you're going to get your own paint, which, hello, what a pain in the butt. Why would you want to go get your own paint? And secondly, they will get the cheapest quality of paint, and then you pay for it.
So you're not really comparing apples to apples when you're getting quotes. Just make sure that that they are telling you what kind of paint they're using.
Exactly,
and that kind of thing.
because when we painted our lake house, I specified Sherwin-Williams colors and finishes, but I wasn't clear. I didn't tell the contractor to tell his painter, I only want Sherwin-Williams paint. And so we were walking the house when it was all finished for inspection, and I'm looking at the walls and I'm thinking, these don't look or feel right. And I went down into the basement where they had left all the extra cans, and they had used like a local, there's a local hardware store in town, and they used, I don't even know, but it wasn't Sherwin-Williams, and I was so mad. And but I wasn't going to ask. I guess I could have asked my contractor to paint the whole house all over again, but and it was partly my fault because I specified the colors and then he matched them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm still mad about it. But anyway.
So in terms of the Sheens, so flat or eggshell is excellent coverage. The great thing is it resists water streaking and spotting. I've been in homes where I see that,
especially in the powder bath where everybody's washing
where
their
the water
hands.
is. It hides and covers dark colors really well. It can wash it. That's the main thing, I guess. If you're going up a stairwell and kids are always like touching the walls, you can wash it really easily, and then it does hide imperfections, in drywall.
Yeah. So for trim options, we generally specify high gloss or semi-gloss. Totally depends on the look you're after. The high gloss, you have to have a really good base in terms of how smooth it is, because the higher the gloss, the more imperfections show. So for example, if you have, in Atlanta, we have a lot of vaulted foyers, 2-story foyers. And if you do a high gloss, semi-gloss, even sometimes eggshell all the way up, every sheetrock, little tiny imperfection will show. So make sure when you're doing high gloss.
High gloss, you see a lot. We've seen them done a lot in show houses where they'll do just the ceiling maybe of a room, but it has to be smooth. It has to be a very, very good painter to do that.
A very good painter and very good quality of paint. And it's also highly reflective. So again, the paint job needs to be really good, but think about all the, like in that Adobe house, that Venetian plaster was so beautifully reflective. It couldn't have been better. That house didn't have a lot of natural light, but the way, it was just, I would lay in bed and just look at the light bounce off the walls. It was awesome. And it adds that drama, just like I'm talking about, because not everybody, goes to high gloss or, and we'll get into it, but, there's lacquer and there's other, even higher finishes that are super awesome for a dramatic area.
Standardly, we use semi-gloss, for trim. It's easy to clean. It masks those imperfections, unlike the high gloss. And, like I said, good washability. And then ceilings, pretty much always flat. There's no reflection. It does hide imperfections. And like I said, every now and then we will do a color on a ceiling, but most of the time it'll be some shade of white.
Or wallpaper.
Or wallpaper.
Well, and let me back up. if a client will let us, we would wallpaper the entire house. Every room, every ceiling, everything. But it is really fun to do on ceilings, especially if you have a flat ceiling without any architectural trim work to give it some oomph, no coffered ceilings or tray ceilings or cool, crown molding, whatever. So,
yeah. Okay, so here we go.
Everybody's like, will they get to it?
Where's the colors? Okay, so here's our top 7. And we generally use Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore, but there are a lot of designers, and we'll give you a couple other ones that the designers like. But probably one of the top ones is White Dove from Benjamin Moore. It's called OC-17. That's what I have in my master bedroom, and I really love it.
Did you? I thought you had that on the outside of your house somewhere. No, no.
Oh, I have ivory white is my trim on the outside of the house. But it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes that white, it's almost like ethereal. Like you feel like you're
totally
like in the clouds, and it does. It photographs so beautiful. So that's a top one, and then Alabaster. Also Sherwin-Williams SW7008. It was actually the 2016 color of the year. And then I will add my girl crush, Sue Wadden, who's the director of color marketing for Sherwin-Williams. It's her favorite color.
Yeah. It's funny. With whites, there are so many different shades. People just say, well, I'm just going to put up a white. Oh, no, you're not. We need to talk about this. So another one to take note of, Benjamin Moore. This was their 2016 color of the year, Simply White, OC117. Just a yummy, solid white. It's just perfect. It's just perfect.
And then this is one, we use this one, I feel like a lot when we're doing color consultations. Sherwin-Williams West Highland White. That one's SW7566. As we're telling you these, you need to look at them in your light as well.
Yes.
Because the type of lighting that you have, how much natural light your house gets, that all comes into play. These are ones that are pretty tried and true, but, try them before you decide.
West Highland White leans a teeny weight towards creamy ivory. So it's great when we're in a more traditional home and we can't go that pure white, simply white, because it's just a little too contemporary and we need that little bit of ivory in there. And it also, sometimes if you've already got blinds up, shades up, wooden shades, and they're not really pure white, and you're like, oh, I don't want the trim to scream.
Yeah, or make the blinds look dirty.
Yep. So West Highland White is a tried and true for that, and it's great on ceilings.
Greek Villa, of course, I love the name. Thank you, Sue. Another Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah.
SW7551. My daughter and new son-in-law just painted the entire exterior brick of their house in this Greek Villa.
It was Greek Villa.
Yeah.
Don't you think, in my head, and maybe I'm wrong, I feel like sometimes in certain lights, Greek Villa can have a slight nod to a peach, like a little bit of pink in it.
This one doesn't.
No? Okay.
Oh boy, he would not go for that.
Well, they have a pink door.
He does have a pink door.
So I'm thinking maybe that's good.
Yeah.
They did that on purpose. And then another one, Ivory White, 925 Benjamin Moore, tried and true.
That's my trim on the outside of my house. And then sometimes the names, really make it strange. Like High Reflective White, Sherwin-Williams SW7757, sounds like it would be this jarring, like fluorescent white, but it's not. So once again, the names, don't let them sway your decision, by what it says.
Another one that we've used a lot that I'll just throw in is Eider White.
Yes.
EIDER White. It has a tiny bit of gray in it for sure. So in my house, I did all the walls in repos, and then I did all the trim, and I think I did Sherwin-Williams. I think I did super white, and then I wanted a little contrast, so I chose Eider White for the ceilings, and that worked out really, really well. So keep that one in mind too. And definitely a little hint of gray in it.
And sometimes we'll change the ceiling color just a little bit to show off maybe the crown molding or something. But I've seen many where the walls, trim, and ceiling are all the same color. And it's really looks good.
I used to hate that.
Yeah, no, I like it.
But now I'm really getting used to it. But I think I like it more when, I don't know, when it's more dramatic. You know, when the trim work
pops.
When the trim work is really cool and you're going for that, I don't know, really simple look.
All right, so
those are some of our faves.
Yeah.
There's so many more and so many other good paint companies. I mean, there's so many more, but we happen to use Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore the most because it's easy in our market, but we don't want to, diss other great companies that have super cool colors.
So our boyfriend, Nate Burkus,
his man of my hour.
His favorite is Dunn Edwards called Precious Pearls. And he said it immediately makes a room feel calm and will pair beautifully with whatever furniture objects you choose to live with.
I like that, Precious Pearls. You can just tell. You can envision it. Joanna Gaines, my girl crush, she likes Sherwin-Williams Alabaster, which we talked about earlier. It's another go-to, and that's the paint color in her house.
I mean, there you go.
That's
That's not a plug for And by the way, Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore are not sponsoring this podcast.
Yes.
all views,
although we would like them to.
All views and opinions are our own.
That's a very good point.
Okay, so a designer in New York, she's an incredible kitchen designer as well. Her favorite is Wimborne, Wimborne White by Farrow and Ball.
Her name's Susan Sarah, by the way. Hi, Susan.
Sorry. She says it's not yellow, blue, or gray. It's a drop of cream mixed with the barest touch of peach to create a white that is warm and soft yet fresh.
That sounds like a good color for an office, a woman's office. Like just really relaxing. All right, Timothy Corrigan. He is an amazing designer. He has this incredible chateau in France, and believe it or not, he's a super duper nice guy. His is Decorators White OC 149 Benjamin Moore, and that is definitely another one.
That's another one
that I think it's a go-to for most designers. And he says it's crisp but has depth, and that's so true.
And then Laurel Byrne, she's one of those people you really need to follow. She gives such great information. She's
a great blogger.
She's a great blogger. And hers is Benjamin Moore 904 White Blush. She says the color looks ever so slightly pink on the chip, and the name implies pink. But when it goes up, it's very lovely and soft and creamy, and generally not at all pink. This is a wonderful white with taupes and grays. It does not look good with yellow, however.
Well, that's very specific. Very good. Yeah. All right. So this is such good information. Like I'm just imagining, like if I was listening, I'd be, going crazy. All right. So here's some cool things to think about white paint that maybe you never thought of, because as you're probably learning, white is a very complicated color. So my favorite little
fact
tip about white is the entire White House exterior, okay, the trim and the body, is painted in 570 gallons of Whisper White by Duron. Now, Sherwin-Williams purchased Duron back in 2004, but that is the color. And you can still get any Duron color through Sherwin-Williams. Did they rename them, or did they keep the names?
I don't think so, because Whisper White is not in the Sherwin-Williams deck. So
right, but it's on record, at any store if you wanted to know.
So the reason the White House is called the White House, why it was painted the White House, is because the original lime-based whitewash was used to protect the stone surface. And it gets painted every year. And that's the same for like Santorini, Greece, and the homes in Rosemary Beach or Alice Beach. Yeah, there's something about the lime wash that protects it.
But it's still like in Greece and in Rosemary Beach and 30A, do they still have to get painted every year like the White House? Or are they just doing that because the White House needs to be perfect all the time?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Maybe someone can tell us.
Yeah.
Now, I think that this bit of facts I think is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Hollywood sign
Yes.
got a facelift.
Okay.
It was based from Sherwin-Williams and the Hollywood Sign Trust. Okay, the sign is 450 feet wide.
I never knew how really big it was.
It's really huge.
Wow.
So each letter
Yeah.
is 45 feet high.
Oh.
And the each letter ranges between 31 feet and 39 feet wide.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
That's so cool.
So part of the facelift was
Yes.
the letters had all the existing coatings removed before being primed and painted. So they had to remove all of the old gunk and start over.
Wow. And then they painted it high reflective white, which we talked about, SW7757, which is not as obnoxious as it sounds.
No.
As you mentioned before. I think I have that in the basement of the lake house because I needed an extra boost down there.
So it took 225 gallons, and they used the emerald exterior acrylic latex paint in satin.
Yeah. I like that emerald paint a lot. It's a very good quality paint. I've used it in my own home. So then they also primed it. Okay, so before you paint your prime with 105 gallons of Pro Industrial, it's called Procryl, PRO-CRYL, Procryl Universal Acrylic Primer. So that was key, I'm sure, for the letters being outside and everything to use that primer.
It took them 9 weeks to complete this.
Wow. Yeah. When was that done? Do we know what year that was done? And I wonder if they have to do it all the time. They must, because
it's outside.
It's so iconic and it's
but when
outside.
You drive
it has to
by
look good.
and you look at it, like, I don't know how close you can get to it. I don't know if you can get really close to it.
I'm not sure either.
Because people would be standing there taking pictures all the time, especially taking selfies and whatever. You probably can't. It's way up high on that hill, but it's got to be big enough so people can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
those are very fun facts. I like that a lot.
I thought so.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, before we get to our quotes.
Yes.
Fill you in on another little trip Kelly and I are taking because we just can't ever rest. We were very honored.
We like to stress ourselves out beyond belief.
We were very honored. We were invited to go to High Point, which is the furniture capital of the world.
North Carolina.
It's something called the Designer Experience. And we will be staying at the Proximity Hotel in Greensboro. And we will be doing some factory tours, having some, keynote speakers.
Staying at the Proximity Hotel, which we've never stayed at before. And we're so excited.
Yep. And so we have two full days of one of the things I'm most excited about. There is a company called the Phillips Collection. And they are in High Point. Mm-hmm. And they do a lot of beautiful wood. They do a lot of sustainable things. So they go to, I believe, Thailand and work with the people there and get the wood
and
there.
It's family owned. So one of the owners is talking to us.
We're going to get to go to see their go to their factory tour.
I love going on factory tours. We've been on so many, and even when you think, oh, it's appliances or oh, it's wood doors, when you see things in production, it is so fascinating. So we're doing a lot of that behind the scenes as well.
You have such an appreciation for, where the things come from and
absolutely
how they're made.
So we'll be spending some extra time at Lexington and Marquardt and some other places, along with a close group of designers, so we can mingle and
we'll
learn
let you
a
know.
lot.
We'll let you know what we find
and that
out.
always affects everything that we do for our clients. So that's what's up next. All right, quote
time.
All right, I'll take the funny one.
Okay.
From Women's Magazine, page 14, How to Lose Weight Fast. Page 15, You're Beautiful the Way You Are. Page 16, Cake Recipe.
It's so true.
It's so true.
Every, woman's magazine has, how to burn belly fat or, whatever. And so, of course, you've got to get it. And then you get to that. And then,
it's all about self-love and wellness.
And then the cake recipe that's got a gazillion calories, in one piece.
I can't worry about that right now. Our schedule is so insane that I'm just surviving and trying to, drink water.
Okay. So I love this one because this is a mission of Kelly and ours.
Yes.
So this one is from Anthony Bourdain. Travel is not reward for working. It's education for living. And that is so true. I think people think about travel as just like a vacation. You work, 51 weeks out of the year, and here's your 1 week to go on vacation.
I totally disagree.
Yeah.
Who were you just talking to about that quote?
I was talking to a new client that they're getting ready to go to. They're getting ready to go to Italy.
Yeah,
and their daughter's going to study abroad. And we were talking about how travel, especially if you start doing it when you're young, you really have the bug.
Well, it's true. And I was just so we went to Napa for the Signature Kitchen Suites tour. Then I was in Santa Fe for a wedding this past weekend. I hadn't been to either of those regions of the United States. I was so inspired in so many ways. The architecture, the art, the pottery, the people. It was so amazing. And then I'll be next week. Oh my God. Well, in like 10 days, I'll be in Guatemala for a normal trip to Guatemala. And if that's endless inspiration. But I just think it's not a reward for working. It's education for your life.
And it's great memories. Great memories that you just don't forget. And you learn a lot when you travel.
It definitely has made us better designers.
I just heard this. I thought this was very interesting. So the guy who's been on Jeopardy,
he just lost.
He just lost.
Yeah.
Okay. So they asked him what he was going to do with the money. He said one of the things that he was going to do was he was going to travel and take a food tour of every in every single country.
No way.
Yes. There you go.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, good for him. Gosh, he won a ton of money.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are hitting the road. We have a great appointment with a repeat client today, and then we are hitting the road for High Point. So.
And then when we get back, we are going to be working on might be one of the most exciting projects of our career. We are working on a party barn.
Yep. Music, dining, lounging, TVs, race cars. I mean, you name it. We're doing it.
Yeah. All
so cool. So
beams,
unique.
Barnwood. Very cool. We'll tell you all about it.
Yeah.
So have a good one. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram @Kandrak-Cole. And of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.